Hey everyone, it's me Ed. So welcome back out to the Hotspot. I am excited about this topic tonight. I really just kind of want to go right into it because it's a lot of stuff that I kind of want to cover, and I don't want the video to be like super extra long. And this is a three-part series that God has placed on my heart to study on, to get information on. So all of the stuff that He has just exposed to me and told me about, I can't do it in one video. This video will be super duper long. So I decided to break it up into three parts. Um, the topic of discussion is spiritual transmitted diseases. We all heard of sexual transmitted diseases, but we don't talk about the spiritual part on it. And we don't understand when we lay down and have sex with someone, you might get infected for some type of medical reason. I don't know. But we also have to understand that when you lay down with someone, it's not only bodily fluids that is connecting, it is also spirits that are colliding with one another. And you have to understand the power of a spirit and how it can destroy you, and the enemy is going to try to destroy you with this thing called sex. So that's what we're going to talk about, sex. And I know it's like, whoop, 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 we shouldn't be talking about sex, but the fact is that we are in bondage to this thing. Everything, if you look around you, I mean, I could literally go on Facebook and everything is sex, 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 literally. So let's not get too spiritual about it, because the fact is that these are the things that God people are going through, and it's like, Lord, I want a blessing. God, I want to be blessed. And God is saying, child, as much sin as you was in, let's focus on getting you out of that. So that's why I I'm so passionate about speaking about the flesh, speaking of the effects that it had on my life, and helping free the next person, so that the enemy can get so mad that if he even think about coming this way, he gonna think twice. But the fact of the matter is that when you are not even a threat to the enemy, that's a scary place to be. Because when the enemy feels as though you are not power, you don't even got no power enough for him to even attack you. That's a scary place to be. So you want to be in a place in your life where the enemy is like trembling when you even touch the floor. When you even speak, he is his friends, his demons just go right away. But we don't have that power because we are so clogged with sin, sex, lust, fornication, pornography, homosexuality. We are so clogged with those spirits because we lay down with them. And I'm here tonight to talk about sex. And what is sex? What is sex? Who God intended sex for? What is sex about? And why God created sex? Sex is not just for pleasure, and sex is not just for us. We have become so selfish in our thinking to say, I sex is about me. I need to enjoy myself, which is it's okay. It's fine. But sex is not about you. Because the fact is that your body belongs to God. So God created sex so he can dwell in it. But he cannot he also created sex for marriage. That's why it says wait until you're married. When you become one with the man, and that man leaves his family to come become one with his wife. Never said girlfriend, never said baby mom, never said shacking up. It said his wife. His wife, because God understands that, and he has to be able to dwell within a union, within a union, um, so that he can dwell in it. Because God is holy, God is righteous, God is pure. God is not dwelling in no sin. So when you have sex outside of marriage, God is not in that. And God is like, I want to be able to bless you. I want to be able to give you the hearts of your desire. But sis, you sleeping with every man that calls you beautiful. And you're not married to this man. Now you're spiritually married. Because once you lay down and have sex with someone, you become one with them. And this is why God intended sex to be for marriage and a union. Because God knows that the enemy is coming to seek and destroy. So he understands and the enemy understands the power of sex. Just as God understands it and understands why he created it, the enemy does too. So we have to get to the point where we understand the thinking of God, and we understand that, okay, I'm sitting here about to watch this porn. I know it's not of God. Let me stop. Because we know that's the enemy. Because the enemy wants to keep anybody, whoever controls your mind, controls your life. And the enemy understands that. So if he can get your mind set on porn, if he can get your mind set on lust, if he can get your mind set on perversion, he understands that God doesn't dwell there. Now don't get me wrong, God can use what the enemy thought he was going to do to destroy you, to get glory from it. But why even put yourself in that predicament? Why put yourself in the predicament of possibly losing your life because you wanted to sin, you wanted the flesh? We got to get to the point where this flesh is not controlling our body. Controlling our mind and controlling our life. We have to get to the point and get out this selfish thinking to think that this body is ours. This body belongs to God. This body belongs to God. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 15, it says, the body is not, let me repeat this, the body is not for sexual immorality. It is not. So anytime your body is saying go have a threesome with your boyfriend and his friend and his whoever, when the body is telling you to say that, you already know it's out of the will of God. So don't do it. You got to cast down them thoughts, cast down that flesh, because we already know this is not the will of God for my life. And it says, the body is not for sexual immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. This body belongs to God. Just as Jesus came and walked the earth and he was absolutely pure, absolutely holy, he surrendered this body to God. So even when he was tempted, even Jesus was tempted. Don't think that that bomb, that you can't be tempted. Even Jesus was tempted. But Jesus was the perfect example as to how we are to say, flee away from me, Satan. You don't dwell here. This body is holy and pure. And listen, this is coming from a mother who had a woman who has 2 children out of wedlock. Because I thought casual sex was fine. Oh, I can have a one night stand. But I didn't even realize what I was having sex with. So when I hear people now say, oh girl, I had sex with so and so, I didn't even really know him, but I wanted it, so I did it. I just sit there, and now my whole mind is thinking, do you know what you had sex with? He could be a molester. He could have been a rapist. He could have been a devil worshiper. And we having sex with these people. This is what I'm get. This is what I'm getting. This is why I'm going to put the enemy out on blast, because this is what he don't want you to know. You in bed never ever had watched the porn in your life. Just had sex with somebody because I wanted to get mine. And now you sitting in bed and you like, why I want to have sex with a woman? Why I want to go watch this porn? Why am I so angry? Because you don't even realize that your body has sex with this person, but so did your soul and your spirit. So, and they collided with this thing. And you don't even realize if that person's spirit might be such a big, huge spirit, and here you go just having sex with it because it looks good. Oh, he fine. Oh, she look good. So I'm going to go have sex with this person. And now you sitting here strung out because you addicted to porn. And now you commit all these sexual acts, and you don't know why, because you like, I don't know what happened, but I just love when he gripped me up and choked me. That's not of God. God can't dwell in that. God cannot dwell in that. I'm getting serious, and this is not about you. I'm putting the enemy out on blast, because the thing is that I love you enough to save your soul. The feelings part, I understand people's feelings. Is like, what she mean? Listen. I want to save your soul, because what you do today determines where your soul goes when you're not here anymore. And I'm serious, and I am an example. I have to walk this thing out every single day. I gotta walk this thing out. You think I'm not in my own flesh, I'm used to being able to pick up the phone and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Come over. You know? I'm used to that. And you think that I'm not still having those temptations? But I understand that that is not of God. And I understand that I have to literally tap into God when those times come. Because I'm more like, Lord, this body is not mine. And I refuse to go have sex with a man who molests little girls. And I don't even know it. Oh, because he's sexy. But he's porn addicted. She fine. But she struggles with homosexuality. That's the spirits that y'all having sex with. And those are the spiritual transmitted diseases that is happening when you have sex outside of marriage. And for the married people, normally I don't talk about marriage. I talk about how to get prepared for it. But and I found this really powerful in First Corinthians chapter 7 verse 1 through 5. It is saying, Paul is saying, if you are going to have sex, get married. And he said the body is not the body of the wife is the husband's, and the husband's and the let me read it. I'm sorry, y'all, because I always get mixed up. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, so it says, now for the matters you wrote about, it is good for a man not to marry. But since there is so much immorality, each man should have his own wife, and each woman her own husband. The husband should fulfill his marital duties to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife's body does not belong to her alone, but also to her husband. In the same way, the husband's body does not belong to him alone, but to his wife. Do not deprive each other. Do not deprive each other except but mutual consent for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer. Then come together so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self control. That is basically saying sex is for marriage, number one. Number two, if you're going to have sex, go get married. Number three, it says husband and wives have sex with each other because the enemy understands the power of it. And you talking about, I ain't having sex with him, I'm a hold off for 3 months, and then your husband go out and commit adultery because you didn't want to be wise and understand that your duty is to have sex with this man. His duty is to have sex with you because the enemy will come in. Any window that you give him, the enemy's going to come in and try to destroy your marriage. Go have sex with that man, girl. Go have sex with your husband, your wife, man. Because the fact is that don't allow the enemy to come in and destroy your household because you trying to be disobedient and you so self-absorbed. We are so selfish in our thinking these days, and we got to get out of that. And we have to understand God is to dwell in our lives. God is to dwell in our bodies. God is to dwell in our hearts. And the thing is that I think it's because of this lack of knowledge and the fact that we don't understand that sex is powerful. So I'm going to be done for today. Next week, tune in. We are going deep into this thing about sexual transmitted diseases. I'm not sexual, I'm sorry. Spiritual transmitted diseases. We're going deep into this thing, and we're going to talk about when you lay down with a person, what really happens beyond what you see and how sexy they are. Oh, they abs, they legs, body parts. We're going to talk about the real nitty gritty of what really happens with the body, the spirit, and the soul. So I love you guys. Please share this if it blesses you, because you are not the only one dealing with this. We putting the enemy out on blast, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.